All right, so here we are again Sunday, and this chat here, I believe we're going to talk about cast bullets and whatever else may come up. Using cast bullets in our military rifles to kind of, there's two reasons why. One, if you do it right, you can get more accuracy out of it, and the other is generally with any center fire rifle, you will get, you use in terms of powder, um, you're using about 40 grains to 45 grains of powder for smokeless powder for a jacketed bullet. Where with a cast bullet, generally a lot of the loads are half that, about 20, 21. Okay, let's see who we got here. Northern Indiana. All right, Tim, thank you. Screw the YouTube community guidelines. Well, yes, I have that same feeling myself, but like when we discuss things like I've got something coming up, some of the relatives called from Eastern Europe last night, and I kind of got a truthful update on what the hell is going on in the Eastern European conflict. Uh, and I believe on their end, the conversation was monitored. It was a video call on Facebook. And to use certain terms, because we all know that YouTube, uh, if you say certain things, it's forbidden. And like even on these live broadcasts, I did get suspended over a live broadcast after the health crisis ended, and I voiced my opinions of it. And they did it. The live chat thing didn't even stay up for 24 hours, and they suspended me. And that was a bad one because I got suspended for that. And there was another suspension for something that it came like a week or two later. A video I had up for 2 years, but because they changed their policies, bam, I got hit. I got knocked out for I think 90 days. Couldn't post, couldn't do nothing. So I got to be careful. But Rumble, I am going to make a special video. I know it's off topic, but I'm going to make a video about the current situations and what I found, honestly found out about what's going on Rumble. And that way I'll be able to fill you guys in if that's what you're interested in. But today's chat, supposedly, because, and the reason I picked this topic is because right now I'm working on cast bullets, going through all the different molds I have. And I spent a lot of money on these molds. I casted a few bullets. My biggest problem is finding lead alloy that's reasonable, which it's not, because I don't believe there is no production of lead or lead-based products or actually smelting. Let me take that back. The last place in the United States, somewhere down in, I think in Louisiana or something, that smelted lead and produced lead, actually smelted it and processed it, closed over a year ago. So any lead you're getting is either scrap lead or something produced in a foreign country. So this kind of, and what was happening is I was trying to get just regular soft lead and blend it with some linotite that I have to make a hardball alloy, which I generally use for all rifle and most, pistol bullets. And I was finding out that this lead I was purchasing, it's contaminated. It's contaminated with zinc or something. It would build up around the spout, and it would also, no matter what you did, temperature, prepping the molds, heating the molds, smoking the molds, the damn bullets would be all distorted and screwed up and wrinkled and and if you go by a guide, if you're not experienced, you'll think, hey, the temperature's off, this and that. What it is there's something in the damn lead that's it doesn't cast a bullet worth of crap. Okay, and I had to go and pay an exorbitant price for certified lead in blended, already pre-blended, not blended my own, in the alloy I need, and it was quite expensive. But I'm getting a quality bullet where the weights are, because what throws you off is even if the bullet looks good, that's why them guys that cast a lot of the black powder long range shooting, they will weigh each bullet, okay? So make sure it ain't a couple grains off, because if you get a hidden air pocket in there on them big 45-70s, it can throw the weight of that bullet off, by a few grains. Not like a half a grain or a couple tenths, like a few of them, if you get a defective bullet that way. And when you're shooting in a competition where you're lobbing them bullets out there 700-800 yards, that will make a difference. Okay. And I see we got 314 and Joe Morgan, some of the usual fellas here. Got up to about 11 guys, so that's good. I kind of like this. We keep it at about 30 people. The discussions go pretty smoothly, and knock on for Micah. We did get a troll the last time there. No trolls. I don't know what attracts the trolls, either the time or the amount of people viewing or something, but ever since things kind of calmed down and we don't really get up to 80 or 100 people in the chat, that kind of diminished the nonsense. Of course, we were talking about political things, and there were a lot of political arguments, and I think that drew AIs or internet spies floating around out there on the web. Can drive you nuts. All right. Okie 89. Yeah, they're still asleep. Yeah, Joe, I know you've been going through a lot of stuff. I'm a bit tired. I had to go out, mow the damn lawn yesterday, kind of do some weed whacking and some physical stuff, kind of knocked me on my ass. And then, like I said, we get not really a phone call, a video call. My wife's relatives contacted us, and it's strange. They're the ones that are kind of in jeopardy, and they like call and go, well, how are you? We're worried about you. And I mean, that's how the whole conversation started. It got kind of crazy. I got T-boned. Ooh, got in a car accident? Shit. At that, yeah, 55, that ain't nothing. I've taken the wing on my cast bullets. Yeah, it does. 314, I mean, yeah, like I said, you find them hidden voids, or the problem with the contamination is if it's real bad. I mean, I've had trouble. I had a batch. I don't know where I got this stuff, but I turned the pot off, and when the pot cools, you'll see these weird voids in the center of the glob in the pot. So whatever the hell is in there, I mean, I've had that stuff, and that's where when you get bad something mixed in there, because a lot of times people, oh well, I ain't paying all that money. I'm just going to go to the scrapyard and I get the shit for $1 a pound or something. Well, you don't know what the hell is in there or what they melted in there. And anybody selling it like on eBay or something, okay, they're selling you weight. All right. So if they say, well, I'll throw a little bit of this in, and I'm not making lead sinkers where if the lead sinker is a little deformed or something for fishing lures and that don't make a difference, because it's just a weight. It's not firing down a barrel trying to hit something at that. Walked away from the crash, picking glass out of my scalp, but the car is toast. I'd say it would. Yeah, Tim, you're right. Yeah, we're all glad you're okay, Joe. I mean, that's bad. You didn't go to the hospital or nothing? But yeah. Yes, 311. That's what I did when I was doing the 4570. That's what I sat there and segregated the bullets, and they may have varied, you know, a grain at the most. Which when you're casting something 400 grains, I don't know what you're talking about casting 30 caliber or something small. Yeah, the 2/10 would make a difference. With them huge black powder bullets, I like took all of them within half a grain in one group and half in the other. Of course, I didn't really do any long distance shooting. I was just experimenting with it, checking out the mold and the alloy itself and how consistent it was. Yep, 30 caliber bullets. All right. Home from my sister. Drink liquor. Yeah, well, sorry to hear that, but at least you lost your car in that, but at least you're okay somewhat. And as for the bullets, yes, 314. The remelt and that is all right, but see that's just like I said. It could be air pockets. It could be the way the pour was. Um, But with the contamination, you'll notice it. I mean, you see voids or where it collapses when you get the bullets. You'll see where there's a air pocket that's actually caved in. And yeah, and the smaller calibers, 30 to 8 millimeter, that can be problematic. But like I said, I'm not quite sure if it's zinc. I know zinc does it, but it could be anything because when these people melt down this lead, you don't know where the hell they're getting it from, and they're just, if it's close to the melting temperature, actually you'll actually see the other metal kind of separate when you're cooling the pot down, and then you get these buildups in your spout with some hard stuff, um, and you know things like that, things of that nature. So that's why with a cast with. Yeah, the thing is about wheel weights, what wheel weights were like back in the old days, they were more closer to lead. Now they get painted with some kind of silvery metal, and I had a batch of them that I got that casted it casted well, and this is going back 15 years. Last batch I processed casted well, but it would leave like a residue in the barrel, this grayish whitish residue. It cleaned out all right, but I'm not quite sure um, what the hell it was. Okay, okay. Ever use one of those services that make custom? something like that. The military guns, check NOE bullet molds, or you can go to Accurate Bullet Molds, and he'll make you a bullet, even if there's one close. You can get him to change the groove diameter and different dimensions on the bullet mold. Uh, so yeah, I have most of the bullet molds I use are either custom or I found NOE. What NOE does is, like with any of these bullets, they do have them, is they always make them about 2 thousandths over the groove diameter. That's where you want to go. And they make a lot of them for, it would be the 303 British, and I forget what it is. It'd be like close to 314 or something. There's a whole bunch. I have some of them. I bought them with the intent to cast bullets and experiment with them. They've been sitting on a shelf for years. I haven't even popped the bullet out. I bought one mold from them for the older Swiss straight pull, the the early one, the early model, and it works quite well. I actually did some videos working with that, and I have some 30 cals, and I have, and anything that goes in a 303 British will go in the 7.7 Japanese and the Argentine, the 7.6, whatever it is, I can't remember it offhand. I'm really bad with getting confused with numbers. A few thousand. I've filled up my hard drive in my head in terms of numbers. But yeah, that's the route you want to go, is at least a couple grand over the groove diameter, then size it, and that will cut the leading out. Once you I use hard lube or high temp lube. They got to melt, and that seems to work well. I use Lyman, okay, Gen 6. Yeah, because wheel weights are made of zinc. And yes, any bit of zinc gets in there, it will ruin the whole thing. Yeah, that's true. Like I said, these people are getting this stuff. I mean, in the old days, you used to just go to a garage, when they used to have a lot of garages around. And if you knew somebody, like I knew a guy, his father-in-law owned a garage, one of my neighbors, and they just come with a 5-gallon pail of the damn things. And they were all lead back in the old days, before they started using zinc. And I really don't know. That's back up in New York, the road salt. I really don't know about that, but yeah, that would contaminate it and do some weird crap to your lead. Well, it's been a long time, Brandon, since I found old lead pipe. I used to get it out of my grandparents' houses, and you have to remember the houses, they were built anywhere from the 1840s, 1860s, 1870s, and there used to be lead pipe running around, and they started using galvanized during the Depression era, but your drain and soil waste lines for the toilets and sinks were made of lead until the 40s or so. You'd find a lot of lead piping that way. And the lead pipe, what you had to do, the one guy said, if you found a joint, like you'd see this lead pipe and there'd be this big swell where they join the two pipes together, he said, whatever the hell is in there, saw that out and throw it away. Don't get that in your lead pot, because there's something that contaminate the hell out of it. But I've cut old lead pipe, and it'll have like a whitish residue from the water in there, calcium or whatever. And when you melt them, there's a ton of slag and crap come out of there. You had to scoop out and throw away. But it was good soft lead. I used to cast black powder bullets with it. But I don't even know if you'd find that anymore. That was years and years ago. Yeah, they have lead is considered a toxic material, much like mercury or depleted uranium or whatever the hell. And a lot of ranges too, if you're firing bullets anywhere where it can get into the water table, they've actually closed down shooting ranges over that because we used to have them up in the mountains up in New York. Um, and it depends on the area. Some states are a lot worse than others when it comes to this and the environmental laws and everything else. But then again, too, if you're in a gun unfriendly state, they will use any reason to shut down ranges and all that other stuff. Yes, and zinc contamination is a problem. It's difficult to get uh, good lead, and I don't even know. I remember I was buying just the plain lead for about 3.5 a pound, but I believe if you get real good hardball or like Lyman #2, there's 2 or 3 places online that sell it. Zip Metals is one, and I forget the name of the other place. I think that's the last place I bought some lead from. But it's upwards to $4 or $5 a friggin' pound. Okay. And when you're ordering 50 pounds of it, that adds up pretty damn quick. But I throw it in the pot once I clean all the crud out of the pot. I throw it in the pot, flux it, cast all day long, make really nice bullets. There's very few of them I have to, you know, shit can or remelt. Yeah, just don't put, if you get lead pipe, okay, um, just don't do the joints. Cut the joints out and melt it down, and you should be able to have nice lead in there. But another thing, it's like sheet lead. They harden it a certain way. Usually they harden it with arsenic. It's like lead shot. Okay, when they drop it in a shot tower, the lead shot is hardened with arsenic. And when you melt down lead shot, it really doesn't cast the bullet quite well. Uh, and it does something to the hardness of the lead. And something about sheet lead, somebody said that. I have melted down sheet lead and made musket balls with it, and it works fine there. It might not be a perfect spear, but, you know, with a smoothbore musket, who cares? Or, you know, so yeah, but I mean, just if you're getting it, any type of a joint or anything like that, don't put that in the mix. Saw that off and throw it away. Any type of, because I don't know how they joined the pipes and that together. All right. I get wheel weights for free, but are they the old ones or the new ones? The newer ones, I don't know. All right. And then Canada Academy medals. All right, but what does that cost? Or it could be the graphite on it also, you know, the graphite or the arsenic, because you're talking the old. I forget how they used to produce that old shot. It because I was getting the hardened shot or magnum shot, and that's pretty. doesn't really have the graphite in it, but I do know that some of the older the shot there that wasn't hardened or wasn't magnum is covered in graphite and all that other stuff. Yeah, it's really never melted down shot to cast bullets. Um, I usually just used it, loaded it in the shotgun, even if I got reclaimed stuff or half a bag or somebody have a can of it or something. I just use it to load shot. Of course, I used to shoot a lot of trap, so now. Uh, uh, I hope this is monetized. I just got 2 ads. Yes, it is. Bismuth. Yes, bismuth is another uh, material they put in there. They have bismuth uh, shot shells because of hunting waterfowl. They don't want the lead, like I said, the lead landing into a water supply or in the water table is a problem. And they use bismuth. And that, I believe, is that chamber casting material. Is an alloy something of bismuth? Because I use that when I used to do the chamber casting. I used to be able to get blocks of that stuff. And it is expensive. It's more expensive than lead, but that's where that chamber casting thing, you plug your barrel, dump it in there, let it cool, tap it out, and then, it moves 2,000s. It's like within an hour, it should be exact, or 2 hours. And then after 24 hours, it's 2,000s oversized or something. Um, yeah, tin bismuth. Yeah, that's CreoSafe. But I can buy that. The CreoSafe is quite expensive, but the one place that supplies the lead will sell me a 5-pound bar of that stuff. And they don't, it's not CreoSafe, but it's a bismuth tin alloy. You have to excuse me, I'm missing a few teeth. Okay, Rod's here, Rapping Rodney. Yeah, it doesn't have to get really hot. I use a hot plate in an old cast iron pan, or that cast iron melting pot or something. I just put that on a hot plate and scoop it out, pour it right out of there. Matter of fact, I got to go get all them chamber castings, put it together. I should have 10 pounds of that crap after all the years. What the hell I get. But yeah, like I said, one person did ask about the bullets or using the custom bullet making or custom bullet mold making places. And basically, I get my molds, and it depends what you're looking for. There are some companies that do make Old West Bullet Molds is one. His stuff was made out of brass. He made the Vetterli stepped or healed bullet, which I use, which is perfect. There was another company that was in business for years that made another Vetterli style mold with a hollow base, but I believe that company is out of business. There were a couple different odd bullet molds made by that company. I can't remember the name. We did do business. A friend of mine ordered some stuff from them back in the 80s, 90s. Okay. And you got Old West makes that bullet mold. He made a few other interesting ones that you can use. Then I forget, what is that place in Australia? Cast Bullet Engineering or something. There's a company in Australia that makes bullet molds. They make a lot of them for the Martini Henry, a lot of British guns, because down in Australia, that's very popular. They have a lot of them weapons there. He makes those, and he made me. There was that French guy that designed a heel bullet for the Gras rifle, and somebody contacted that company and asked the guy's permission. He drew up this bullet, and they made that. So I got that from that company down there. It's actually to order, and he cuts it to order. So when I ordered it, he said, "Give me X amount of time, I'll have it out to you." And actually, it was only like a month or so to get up there. It's quite reasonable, and it casts a good bullet, and it works well in either the Gras or the Mauser 1871 single shot. 200 degrees. Arsenal will make you okay, Arsenal. All right, I remember that company. They have the one thing set there. I've never. I don't know if I ever got a bullet mold from them. I think somebody did. Somebody I know got one from them for like 3220 or something. Tires in the shed. Okay, Rod. We'll keep on. Yes, Brooks bullet molds, Brendan. Yeah, he specializes in a lot of the older black powder cartridges, and from him, I bought a single cavity 500 grain bullet for the 4570. It's almost to the regulation dimensions. And I got that mold from him. Very high quality. They even cast a couple bullets with the mold and send them with you, or send them to you with the mold. It's pretty wild. They're a good mold. They're worth the money. And, if he's got what you want and the specs you need, they're a damn good bullet mold. I got one from him. But like I said, you could go accurate bullet molds. The way he cuts them with a CNC machine, you're not going to get something cut like with a cherry with a round nose. Everything's going to have a flat end on it. And he doesn't go below like 300 thousandths, meaning his tooling can't cut smaller diameters. That's the only drawback. But you get up into the larger calibers and the really weird stuff, he has a lot of it there. He can do hollow base stuff. He doesn't make the pins, but he can cut you a mold where you can have a pin made to make your hollow base molds and that. And like I said, he will tweak them. If you find one that's close, but you want the driving band, excuse me, a couple thousandths bigger, that's not a problem. It's all part of ordering it. His stuff is good. And you got three choices. You can get them made out of an iron. I forget what it is. Iron, brass, or aluminum. Aluminum is going to be the least expensive. And there's pros and cons with aluminum molds, but I can get an aluminum mold, 3 or 4 cavity, like I just did with that one bullet mold for the Kropatschek. It was $140 to do the same thing in iron. It would be closer to $200, $190 or something. So it depends what how much you're going to use it. Because like the reason I did it is if the bullet don't work out like some other ones, it's less money. If I know that I'm going to use that bullet and cast a lot of them, like he does make an exact bullet to the specs for the chastebow. That actual, whenever you go online, you see that bullet, he makes it identical. Okay, he's made a lot of them. Chaspo. He makes some Vetterli bullets. I have one or two Vetterli, but for the Italian Vetterli, he makes that healed bullet, and that's what I found I used. But the only problem with that is it does not work well when you make the brass out of labelle. You have to make it out of the 50 Alaskan. It's thicker. And whoever had that bullet designed and cut, that's what the brass they're using. The only problem with that is to get that to work in any of the Vetterlis, you have to turn about 10 thousandths off the base of the cartridge. And once you do that, though, you got brass that will last you forever. This stuff is thick and heavy. And if you're using a healed bullet, all you got to do is get it kind of close, you know, squeak that in there, you keep it trimmed, and Swiss Vetterli and them other ones, that it makes a beautiful bullet with them with the healed bullets. Uh, you know, I've had a lot of luck with that company. Yeah, zinc will float to the top when you're doing a melt, but when it's blended into the metal or whatever is in that lead, I've kind of tried that. It I don't know. I've never had the contaminants ooze up out to where I could get to them. Because, like I said, like we were discussing, me in 314, it could be zinc, it could be something else, it could be a combination of several things blended in there. Because when they just take the stuff and melt it the hell down, you don't know where they, and all they're looking for is weight. Okay, they're just trying to get the weight out of you. Actually, somebody I did some trading with gave me a bunch of lead out of air gun target. They had a indoor air gun range, and a guy gave me a box of all the little smushed pellets. I mean, there was a lot of it, but the only thing is, it's full of the little bitty bits of paper that came through the target. So I don't know, flinging that into a lead pot, what's going to happen? That paper is going to ignite, and it's going to get crazy. Yeah, once zinc melts into lead. Okay, yeah. Hey, Victor, how's it going, buddy? You home or are you back in? I know I got your message where you said you're leaving Greensboro and headed out to Tennessee. So safe travels there. And thanks for the support and stuff, bud. Wheel weights is to start it. Yeah, see, that's why I don't even fool with the wheel weights or nothing. My coordination and that and the time, and I just have cycled through all this stuff, and I got a bunch of bad lead, and I don't know how much time I got left on this earth. I ain't got time to screw around and sort this shit out. So I just opt to find a source, buy it, pay a little bit more money, and see that's another problem. When people go, hey, this bullet, blah blah blah, I'm not using a machine where it just sits there and makes thousands and thousands of bullets. I'm hand casting. Then once I go through, sort out everything, get it done, I got to go lube them, seat gas checks, lube them, size them, and all that other stuff. A lot of work in there. And I'm just getting to where it's too difficult for me to do it. I make some of them. But, you know, to actually produce them, I thought that, hey, if I make so many bullets and, get them out there, it'll offset the cost of the mold and everything else. So I don't know. I may be doing that because I have a lot of unique and weird bullets uh, that I can do. I tried doing some of that on a gun broker, but it's kind of hit or miss. People bought them, then people didn't. Of course, I had them priced pretty high too. But and there's several people out there that'll make all kinds of stuff for you on a gun broker. 50 pick floats out at temperature. Most of my wheel weights are lead. Yeah, but like I said, I just don't need. I just would rather get a bar or something, melt it, spend my time casting the bullets. I did all that. I used to get, like you said, I got lead for free. People used to just want you to get it out of the building. Um, and I casted a lot of bullets that way. That's when you're not paying for lead and it's just your time. That's when it comes out okay. You know, finding somebody in a scrap yard or something that knows where something is another thing. Um, Matter of fact, I probably take some of the bad lead and drop it off at the scrapyard and get my money back out of it, um, and try to use that to get the decent stuff. But yeah, the advantages of doing it, like I said earlier, is once you cast the bullets, generally most of your cast bullet loads, be it if you're doing it for 303 or anything, generally a lot of the loads you're using less powder. And now with the cost of everything out of control, okay, we all know that the cost of smokeless powder or any gunpowder and primers is a pain in the ass. Well, it kind of comes if you just want to go plink with your gun, not hunt or not shoot at, maybe you can shoot it 500-600 yards. I've never I don't have a range where I can do that. 200 is about the farthest I go. And it casts bullets. I use them mostly in handguns. The only time I really use the cast bullets is like in the older cartridges, like the 11 millimeter Mauser for the 71 to 7184. You got to use a cast bullet. The Verndals, you got to use a cast bullet. You can fire jacketed bullets in a 45-70, but it will eventually wear the barrel out. So again, cast bullet. Martini Henry's cast bullet, and it was cheap enough to reload that I really never cast bullets for like 7.7 Jap or the Swiss rifles or, 303s or any of that, or 8 millimeters I cast for to shoot in the 88 commission rifles because everyone's still nervous about them blowing up, and you can make a pretty nice load um, with a nice bullet for the 8 millimeter, and go out and shoot that all day long without worrying about any problems or overpressuring and what the hell the groove diameter is and all that other stuff. You have a nice day shooting cast bullets, some of these old guns. But some of them, it was reasonable enough, like 6.5 Dutch. I just used the 264 diameter torpedo bullet. And if you got a rifle with a nice clean bore in there, it'll work fine. But like some of these people are showing me with some of these carbines, a lot of those Dutch guns, they'll have rifling in them, but they'll be really dark. And I had one years ago, and I even had the German steel cased ammo came with it, and I fired it. And at 50 yards, it was keyhole. And so it must have been the fulminated mercury wore the damn bore out to the point to where you would kind of have to go with some sort of a weird oversized bullet, a cast bullet, to get the accuracy. Because the way the dies in that are all set, using the Carcano diameter bullet kind of is a pain. But if you get, well, at one there, I got the base. I have that weird one at tapered. I haven't gotten a video up yet about it. It explains the bullet mold. It's an NOE mold. It's 151 grain, and it looks like a Lovren type with all the different little bands, and they're all different sizes. The S end of it would be 270. The next band is 269, 268, 267, and up to 266. It's strange in a way because you still have to stretch the neck out, and that's another thing people don't realize. When I say use an oversized bullet, some chambers are cut to where if you go 3/4 thousandths and expand, get a plug, expand the neck out so you get the correct tension, neck tension, you can expand the outside of that case to where it's going in there tight, or it will not go into the gun. It won't chamber because the case is too big. And see, then you got a problem. If you get it to where it just fits in there, it's supposed to have some room to expand once you fire it. So you need a few thousandths in there. So when you fool with this and try to do it, and like I do, try to get larger bullets or bullets with a larger base. And then again, when you get the whole bullet, like a torpedo bullet, if you get that diameter out there far enough, that's where I had that problem with that one I made. That one bullet I got for the 8x50 Austrian. It'll fit in the 88-90 because the throat was set up for the black powder cartridge and actually was a little bit longer case. And then whoever did that must have measured that because that thing fits in there just perfect and works fine. The only problem is it won't chamber in a 95 or a Kropatschek because the nose is too big. That's why I went and had that other bullet made where the nose diameter and that really super nice bore on that Kropatschek I got. That thing fits in there just right. And it works. The only thing is at 280 grains, I really don't know what kind of load I could get in there where it ain't shooting 6 inches low at 50 yards, so that's where you gotta get all that. Okay, so this is curious to see how black powder and duplex 303. Well, ain't gonna do that. Mil surplus duo, great. Okay, 314. Had good results. Yeah, when you drop the bullets into the water as a way of hardening them, yeah, that's a common practice, and it does bump the hardness up a tad bit. But see, hardness kind of really don't matter if you got a bullet that is 2 thousandths over the groove diameter, that'll eliminate your leading. And I was told that shooting revolvers at an indoor range by a police officer years ago that used to load his own ammo. We were all shooting 38 specials. And he told me, just make it 1 thousandths. He goes, 357 is a groove diameter standard on all 38 caliber revolvers. He goes, just cast your bullets, size them to 358, and that 1 thousandths makes a difference, and you don't get the blow by. And if you do get one that's a little small or short or something, see, that's another thing. If your alloy or something, you cast an undersized bullet by a couple thousandths, even though it sizes up in that, if you get the gas to get around it and get that blow by or whatever, that will lead your barrel up. Okay, so it's tricky. It's tricky in getting it right. The alloy is important. Hardness, or what you said, the water quenching, it does make a bit of a difference. I kind of don't do it. I had a friend that used to do that because he used to cast and sell 45 ACP bullets and 38s and that back in the day. That's when it's popular. Now it is going to be 32 ACP, 380, 9mm, and 9mm Mac. That's going to be the cartridges because 9mm Mac's expensive. Reloading it would be a lot better. Luger, I don't know. I got so much empty brass, and the 9mm Luger is so cheap. It's reloading. It's um, not worth the time and effort. 380 and 32 though, yeah. And 45, I reloaded an awful lot for my 45 ACPs, but I haven't really shot them much. See, that's another thing. I got so many different friggin' guns and different calibers. Ate my comment about YouTube. Ate my what kind of comment did you make about the 9mm Mac? Okay, what mold, Mill Surplus Duo? What mold are you going to get before you order it? Tell me where you're getting it from and who you're getting it from and what's going to be your base diameter on there. Because if you order one from Accurate Bullet Molds, which is just a 324 or something, because there's a guy who does a lot of the Civil War stuff and runs paper cartridges. And I found the mold he ordered. It's way undersized, and he was firing it out of an old 8890, and he doesn't even shoot it at a paper because I know what's going on. That bullet's flying all over the place. It's too small. All right, Ben Sonic. Yes, undersized bullet, and plus the accuracy you look kind of like wasting your time. 357. Yeah, let's go because I think it's 355. Yeah. Yeah, I think 355 is the standard or the groove diameter in the 9. Tough bullet. Well, yeah, that's true. They do get a little bit battered in a semi-automatic pistol. And yeah, if you get the right bullet, Joe, for any pistol, the right shape, it'll work fine. I mean, Lee, when it comes to just a round 9mm 45, or even I think I got the Mac bullet from them too, the bullet they made for the Mac. That's where Lee, the molds are not expensive, and the bullet's just a plain basic bullet that works. Okay, that's one thing I can say for the very common calibers. The Lee molds, I did one for the 40 Smith & Wesson. I cast a ton of them bullets, and they work great. Truncated cone bullets that they got that mold. I got the 6-cavity mold or something. I casted a ton of them, and they were fantastic. The only problem is a lot of people, when they're looking for the ammo or the bullets, they want to put it in a friggin' Glock, and I don't know how. I don't need nobody to tell me their Glock blew up because they put cast bullets in it. Yeah, see, 314. That's the thing. I mean, it's cheaper for me to buy the damn 9mm off the shelf, and other than try to reload it or cast and put all the time, because you look at the time you put in there. I'd rather do it on something that is either you can't find or is more expensive or it's worthwhile. Okay, lettuce, $4 a pound local here. Yeah, that's about what it is. $3-4. For the 8x50 mil surplus duo? No, no, it's not. NOE does not make a bullet that'll fit in the uh, 8x50. I don't believe they do. They don't, because if they did, I would have ordered one. That I had made it. What bullet were you? Give me a number, and I'll see if I can check it out quickly. Give me the number you were thinking of looking at. And I will check that out because I'm going to look right now on their website. Bullet molds. You have to go with a 300. I go with a 332 diameter bullet. Okay. All right. They got three. If you're going with an 8mm, 326, 325, 326 is the biggest. They make an 8mm. And if you're going with 338s, they're 339. They make one here they do make one, a 339, and it looks like it's for the 8x56. And it's only a 233. It's only a 233 grain bullet. I mean, that'll work. Okay, that will work. But I wanted to go with a 250 or heavier. Early Glocks hate reloads. Yeah, 314. They kind of do work well with cast bullets. I know that, but it's out there, and people. What it is I've talked to people that said you never have to clean a Glock. Okay, and I know people that never clean their pistols, and then they fire these things till they don't work. And I mean, literally, I've seen built up residue. You put your finger inside, you pull the slide back, and I mean, wads and lumps of stuff come out of the gun. And I've seen people shoot hundreds of rounds over a period of more than a year and never take the gun apart and clean it. And I believe that's the problem with a lot of these Glocks going in self-destruct mode. Okay, because like one guy, I work with this guy, goes, yeah, they tell you never have to clean a Glock. It's a magic gun. You just load it and shoot it. Yeah, I fooled around with the tumble lube, and I don't know. I had trouble letting in that, and it kind of works. It doesn't. And there's people that have a whole array of formulas and all this other stuff that put in there and tumble lube these bullets. Um, but I did for a while, and I got out of it, and then I never did it again. Okay, sometimes you get lucky with bullet molds. Yeah, 40 bucks, but I forget. I think I paid 60 or 75 for mine new years ago when I got it. That was a while back. I don't know what a good Lyman bullet mold retails for now with the price of everything going up. But that guy I know they're single cavity, and I mean, I love it. It's a great mold. It produces a great bullet, but I like to get the bullets produce more. And um, like I was gonna say, accurate bullet molds. He'll cut you a gang mold identical. He'll cut the exact same bullet, okay, but he'll give you a 4 cav or whatever. I think you can get a 4 cavity that size, maybe a 5. And I mean, that's what I was thinking of doing. Once I get back into fooling around with the Mausers, and if people are like, "Hey, I'd like to do that," whatever, I might cast a bunch of them. Because I remember one weekend sitting there, I casted, I don't know, 400 of them or something in 2 days. And I think there's still some I casted out of just plain lead to use in black powder, with black powder loads and that. I had to go root around and see what I got. I casted a bunch of them again to use. I casted them with harder alloy, and I used a smokeless powder load. That's what I got to do. I got to go through my garage. It's like this room, just piled with stuff, and gather it all up. And I think what I'm gonna do is just go out and shoot whatever the hell I cast, and then as I deplete everything, then make more. Yeah. No, I can't remember what mold number was. Oh yeah, do that surplus duo, and uh, I'll look for the email. But just explain what's going on, because I don't know if you're going to use your handle here or another name or something, and I'll tell you what to do. Actually, I may have to go back and have another mold cut by Accurate that'll fit in the um, 8x50s. But you know, you can load the cartridge with the standard 230 grain bullet. It's just a shorter cartridge, and it kind of will feed through the gun because that's what everyone's doing. They're just taking the PPU bullet, and they take the PPU bullet, this the small one that goes in the 8x56, and just put it on the cartridge, and it'll. I went and shot it. It feeds through the gun. Uh, so it depends. 11 millimeter French, that's Old West Bullet Molds. He makes it, but I've never been able to get a revolver. I wanted to get one, and I could have got a nice one, and I didn't want to pay the $600. Now you can't touch them for $1,000 or something. And I got a civilian one that had a broken hammer that I was going to repair, and that is in the 11 millimeter French, but I never ended up repairing it because it's not the same as the military issue gun, and I never got around to doing it. You know. Yeah, I told you, $100. $100. Yeah, the 330 mold. I use the 338 mold, and then I got a set of custom sizing dies. I size it down to 332 or so, and that's what I was using. But I just rather get And the only problem with that is when you size it down to 4 or 5 thousandths, you're uh, shortening, or you're making the groove, the loop groove diameter smaller in diameter. And that, let me see what he gets for this one. And he is sold out on all of these. He even has hollow points. Looks like he has not made any of these in a while. Let me get a gander at what he has in terms of the diameter. 339. That's pretty, yeah, 339. 338, 339. Yeah, it's a 338 bullet mold. But yeah, that's what you do, and then you squeak that sucker down. But of course, his lube diameters are 295. Yeah, so he's got real deep uh, lube diameters, so you can size that if you had the damn things and get it out. But he's sold out on all of them. He is sold out, and he goes up to a 4. No, he's got a 5 cavity there. $119 out of stock. Let me see what Accurate has. For those. All right. There we are. Still on. Okay. Midway had a 330 mold. French revolvers. Thanks, guys. That is equivalent to the Python? Not really. It's a very light bullet. Yeah, it's an odd bullet, and it's light, and it's not a very powerful thing. All right, let's take a look at Accurate and see what he has. We're going to go with 332 to 3. Okay, he has something here. Yes, he has 8x56. He has one with a gas check and one with, and they're 335, which would be just perfect. If you squeak them 334 to 333 or 332, and that number is 33-235, and it's CG and C, they're the same bullet. Now, he has another one, which kind of will trick you out. It's a torpedo bullet, but here's the problem. This bullet only goes to 323, so this is like for an 8mm Mauser. You got to go to a 332, and that one is 33243L. Now, I was not happy with that one, so I went with, let me take a look at this one. 325. Now, these are all for like an 8mm Mauser. Forget what the hell that one was that I got. Oh, 270, 250. 340, 333, or 330. Yeah, 334, 334, 340, 340. That's a bit too big. But anyway, yeah, you can find that. If you watch the channel, I'll go over that and get all this stuff straightened out as we go. But like I said, I buy some, they don't work. They do work. Yeah, I don't know where the hell the gun geek is. Who knows? He may have important projects or something. You never know. Never know with the gun geek. He could be out testing Coleman camping equipment right at the moment, frying some spam. And I remember he had that thing that makes the toast. I don't know where he found that thing, but you take your bread and put it on there and turn that Coleman stove on, and it'll toast your bread. Some pretty interesting stuff. All right. Yeah, it could be. He could be busy there. Of course, I know he likes to always show up at the chats. Or who knows? He could have been busy with something else. But yeah, as for that, I did do some more work with that monster 270 grain bullet, or I'm getting there. I got to get the brass done. I'm going to do, actually, I'm going out probably tomorrow morning to test some 6.5s. And that's going to be an NOE bullet mold. And that one is the weird one. That's 270, 151 grain. It's got a round nose. And that's the one that has that tapered thing. It starts at 270 on the ass end and tapers down to 264 or something, or 265, 66. And then that nose, I'm going to try those out and see if I can get some action. I do have a Swedish rifle. I bought that thing at a flea market from this guy. And the reason I got it, it had that little target rear sight thing there, the little wheel. And if you look at the disc, and the disc too, because I know places that'll sell you a friggin' disc, okay, that is either unstamped or stamped with a good bore. The disc has got several things stamped on it or restamped, so the bore ain't exactly perfect. I've shot the thing, screwing around, shot it a little. It shoots halfway decent, but I'm going to use that to test these bullets because I do have a real nice one with a real nice bore. But I'd like to see if the cast bullets will shoot very accurately in a gun that is not a 98% or 95% gun, something that's like about an 89 or 85. See how that goes. So yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. I'm going to be testing some more, and I'm going to get back and probably with the Kropatschek, because I'm not quite sure what powder to use to get that behemoth of the bullet upward at 1,800, 2,000 feet per second. I may just run some of them in the 95 because it's a stronger action, and take the risk there and build up and see what goes until I get it up to where, and I'm going to use a different powder. The weird thing is using like that green dot with an 8mm or something. I've only found low data for like about 200 grain bullets and below, and it does work good with something like 190, 200 and an 8mm. I mean, beautiful accuracy, everything. but I think it may be burning a tad bit too fast to try to propel that behemoth bullet any faster. I may have pressure issues, so I'm going to try a different powder, I believe, and experiment with that. But I'll get back to that there and see if that bullet does work out for me well in the Kropatschek. That'd be great, and I'll try it in a 8x50 because it's pretty neat bullet. They're nice long heavy torpedo style bullets or whatever. Oh, all right, so again, keeping it nice, mellow, good discussion. Got a lot of things worked out there. But yeah, cast bullets, double-edged sword. Trying to get a decent mold. Sometimes you luck out and you get a Lee mold that works fine. And I got a whole shelf full of them. I use them. They do have good bullet designs. They really do. And they're nice bullets. They cast nice bullets. They work well. It's just a lot of the specialized stuff. You can go with, because I found in all of the 8x56 and 8x50 Austrian rifles, the M95s or even the early ones, they all come out to a 332 groove diameter, just about on average. That's what they all average out. Yes, I had that little carbine with a mint bore, and I believe the reason it has a mint bore is something ain't right. It won't load from the magazine. That's probably why it didn't get used and nobody shot it. There's something wrong with it, because I took it out, tried it with different clips and that, and it still won't load. But that one is, when I slugged the bore, to factory spec. Okay. And most of the other ones, they all averaged out, okay, and they're pretty consistent on about 20 rifles where I slugged the bores, be it long barrel rifles or all the carbines, come out to about 332. So you'd want a 333, 334 diameter bullet. But the only problem is that create to where the neck of the loaded cartridge, you might have chambering issues. So, that's something you got to work on. Oh. All right, so probably we'll get going. We almost got an hour and a half here. I got some things to do. We'll probably do next Sunday again, and then maybe after that, because I have some things to do on next Saturday, I won't be able to do it. A couple people have requested we go for another day or a later time. But Sundays, usually after I wrap things up here from 1 till 4 or 5, I'm tied up with some things. So next week we'll do a Sunday, and then maybe we'll do a Saturday later in the afternoon, 2 or 3 or something, in a couple weeks. We'll try that and see if we can get, because some people have said that their schedule and that it might be a better thing for some people. So we'll try that and come up with a different topic of some sort. Leave something in the comment section. We did cast bullets. I don't know what we'll talk about next week. But I'll come up with something and I'll put up a little trailer video talking about it. So you guys will get a heads up. But thanks for showing up, fellas, and another good chat. Got some stuff out here, and that. So I'll see you guys next week.